Hey everyone, how are you? I'm 𝐬𝐿 and welcome to another video in this full reviews video series. This time, we'll be talking about Five Nights at Freddy's 2, a game that was released in late 2014, being critically acclaimed and often considered as one of the best games from the saga. Without further ado, let's begin. Number 1. The game was firstly announced through a teaser, where we can see that the game concept was going to be originally different, since this teaser has the grand reopening sentence in it, and in the final game we're in a different location and is chronologically before the first game. There's also the fact that the game was going to be released on 2015, however, it ended up being released on November 11th, 2014. Number 2. All of the classic animatronics from the first game, except Golden Freddy, have a redesigned version, being the toy animatronics. 𝐬𝐤𝐞 was also originally, or it would be, a part of this group, being the Foxy's counterpart. Since one of the first teasers showed Foxy and 𝐬𝐤𝐞 sharing the same place, it also showed 𝐬𝐤𝐞 having a hook, meaning it had a normal body in this teaser. The main reason why 𝐬𝐤𝐞 has that well-known appearance during the game is because the employees got tired of putting back together and ended up creating a take apart and put back together attraction, so the children could play with its parts. By the way, if you're still wondering if 𝐬𝐤𝐞 is a male or female, the answer is yes. Number 3. And talking about the toy animatronics, let's talk a bit about Freddy, since his gamer/streamer version has a great difference compared to its Weaver version, since Toy Freddy is more aggressive during the first nights, however, on later nights he will be less active. In this way, it's definitely opposite to Freddy from FNAF 1 mechanic-wise. Also, Toy Freddy is one of the few animatronics from the game that return to their start position right after being repelled, while the rest will be roaming around the pizzeria. Number 4. The next one we'll be talking about is Toy Bonnie. He has a somewhat unusual behavior compared to his stage partners, since he never shows his endo eyes just like Toy Freddy and Chica, but instead his irises get smaller and smaller as he's getting closer to us. Aside of that, unlike Toy Freddy and Toy Chica, he has a special animation where he enters the office while we have the mask on. Number 5. Toy Chica is the only animatronic from the game who wears clothes, specifically pink shorts, which makes her so... sexy? Alright, who's the funny lady guy who wrote this script? Anyway, jokes aside, when Toy Chica leaves her start position, she lacks both her normal eyes and beak. Many users theorize that she left her beak inside 𝐬𝐤𝐞, just because one of its camera renders there was a strange object that looked like the shape of Toy Chica's beak. However, Scott confirmed that she leaves it on the show stage in order to look more menacing. Number 6. Puppet or Marionette is one of the most interesting animatronics from the entire franchise. Although in this game, which was her debut by the way, she was rather a martyrdom, since for a certain point her music box was running out very quickly and we can't change her AI settings in the custom night. So what if, instead of giving you an interesting fact about her that probably many of you already know, I give you a small tip. If her music box runs out completely, something you can do is watch the prize corner camera. She won't be able to jump scare you until you stop watching the camera. Although this tip's only useful if you're about to reach 6 AM, since seconds later, any animatronic will probably force you to put down the cameras, which will make her prepare to jump scare you. But hey, this tip can save your life anyway. Number 7. Balloon Boy is truly a master at distorting reality to his liking, since he can directly teleport from the game area, his starting position, to the air vents. When he's there, his shirt buttons are black and lacks any of his accessories. But when he enters the office, his shirt buttons return to their original color, white, and his accessories are back again. But not only that, but when any animatronic appears, he disappears, and when that animatronic leaves, he appears again. He is definitely the most powerful character in this entire franchise. Number 8. Weaver Freddy has a behavior that, despite not strange at first glance, is certainly quite contradictory compared to his counterpart from the first game, since unlike Freddy from the first game, who only moved through dimly lit areas, Weaver Freddy moves through lighted areas, despite these cameras having dark areas. The only similarity between his counterpart's behavior is that he won't move until Bonnie or Chica leaves their start position, which is parks and service. Number 9. If you always wonder where's the Weaver Bonnie's face at, then, thanks to the fun guy call for night 2, we can interpret it simply in the parts and service room, the same place where the Wither animatronics are, since these are used as spare parts. Number 10. Wither Chica has quite an interesting detail. When she is in party room 4, she covers one of the paper poles. More specifically, one who doesn't resemble any character, although there is people who thinks it resembles Balloon Boy. The same thing happens with Toy Chica, so we can interpret that they're probably indicating that this paper pole represents them, or in the opposite case, they're covering it up just because they feel jealous or ignored for not having their own one, unlike their partners. Number 11. Fox is the only Wither animatronic who's not fooled by the Freddy mask. This is due his system is damaged enough to not recognize who is and who is not human. Ironically, he jumps so high for his heavy weight and despite being so damaged. Number 12. In this game, Golden Freddy has a Wither appearance that doesn't fit both his appearance from the first game and the Wither Freddy from this game. There is absolutely no reason of why he was redesigned and changed his appearance over the years, although it can be excused with the fact that he's a hallucination or a ghost. Number 13. This was the first game in the franchise that included minigames in an Atari 2600 style. Clearly, Scott didn't use a grid to make these sprites, but even so, these have some errors, such as a wrong color palette in some characters, the absence of some Ds like Balloon Boy, and some wrong data such as the iconic Save Him, referring to the puppet, who was actually possessed by a girl, not a boy. Number 14. It was originally planned for the Freddy mask to have a toxicity meter, which would restrict the mask usage, because wearing for a long time would cause an instant game over. However, we are assuming that Scott didn't think this would make any sense in game, which would explain why it was scrapped. We also assume it was replaced with both the music box and the Weaver Fox mechanics, which restricts the mask usage. Number 15. Scott stated that he didn't like the idea of making cutscenes in these first games, because he didn't feel this would fit the game style. However, there is a cutscene we can see if we open the game for the very first time, where we are in the Freddy point of view, more specifically Freddy from the first game. Scott wouldn't implement this again in the next games, except for Sister Location and Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. By the way, fun fact, if we check the FNAF 2 MFA file, we can see that this cutscene is called Dream. But who's dreaming? Let's start this section with a very well-known Easter egg. Just like what happens in the most FNAF games, pressing the Freddy's nose, more specifically on the Celebrate poster in the office, will play the iconic honk sound.
You're only the second guard.
In this game, there's a chance to get a rare screen featuring some of the characters. There are 3 in total and they rarely appear at random. If Chica enters in the party room 4, where the paper paws are, there is a small chance that one of these, more specifically the one that she covers, appears directly in the office, probably strengthening the fact that it's linked with Chica. There's a small chance, and yes, several things in this game depends on chances for them to happen, that if we watch the prize corner or the left air vent cameras, we can probably see Endo 2, an endoskeleton that merely appears as an Easter egg. Another character that can appear by chance is JJ, the Balloon Boy's female counterpart, appearing under the office desk. However, she won't do anything but staring at you until she eventually disappears. She's harmless in short. However, there's also a character that appears by chance and is definitely not harmless at all. Its name's hard to pronounce. Even I won't bother to do it, although it's unofficially referred as Shadow Bonnie, due to its shape being exactly the same as Toy Bonnie, except that its teeth are different. Shadow Bonnie can randomly appear in the office, more specifically on the left side. If we stare at Shadow Bonnie for more than 4 seconds, the game will crash. And last, but not least, regarding Easter egg characters, let's talk about Shadow Freddy. He will appear in the parts and service room, only if Weaver Freddy, Bonnie and Chica have already left the room. And don't worry, unlike Shadow Bonnie, he won't crash the game. If we move our cursor at fast pace over the options button on the title screen, we can briefly see Night 8 near the continue option button, which can be accessed if clicked in time. This is often considered as a bug, however, this also appeared in FNAF 1 and FNAF 3, which probably means COD did it on purpose, even if this night is almost unplayable. Just like with FNAF 1 and FNAF 3, changing the date and time on our computer or playing the game during October 31st, aka Halloween, will make the office get a Halloween decoration. Toy Freddy. He is a grizzly bear animatronic originally manufactured by Fazbear Entertainment as the lead singer in the band and the main mascot of the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location in 1987. He starts in the show stage, then he goes to the game area, and after that, he will directly go to the hall outside the office. We can use the flashlight to check in which position he is in. If Toy Freddy enters the office, he will stand still in front of us for a short period of time, like the Weaver animatronics. The only way to stop him is to put on the mask. Toy Bonnie. He's a rabbit animatronic originally manufactured by Fazbear Entertainment as the guitarist in the band of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location in 1987. He is one of the first animatronics in leaving the show stage. His movement through the place is very slow, and he takes his time to enter through the right air vent. And if you have the mask on, he will enter the office, passing in front of you for a short time, causing the music box to be running out. It can have a serious consequence if it's close to be completely depleted. If we ignore him but having the camera monitor up for a while, he will proceed to jump scare you. Toy Chica. She's a chicken animatronic originally manufactured by Fazbear Entertainment as the back singer in the band of the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location in 1987. As with the other toy animatronics, she will start out on the show stage. She can enter through the right air vent and jump scare us if we don't put the mask on until she leaves. A vent crawling sound will play when this happens. Once she leaves the left air vent, she will sometimes go to party room 4 or the main hall. Mango. It is the Fox's upgraded counterpart and belongs to the toy animatronics. Mango was designed to entertain children at Kids Cove. However, the children began to take part several times, which ended up tiring the employees who had to put it back together. Because of this, they turned Mango into a take apart and put back together attraction so kids could play with its parts. Mango starts to move in Night 2, often moving around the pizzeria through the ceiling. It moves through the prize corner, game area, main hall, party room 1, party room 2, the hall outside the office, and finally, it will crawl through the right air vent to reach the office. If we don't put the mask and it manages to get inside, it won't kill us instantly, but instead, we'll hang on the ceiling while its iconic garbles play until eventually jump scare us when we pull down the monitor. If we close to 6 AM and Mango is in the office, we can refrain from using the monitor until 6 AM hits. Marionette. Also known as Puppet, is an antagonist that's possessed by Charlie's soul, which was Henry's daughter. Marionette was originally created as a security measure to prevent children from leaving the building, which belonged to an unknown restaurant. Sometime later, Puppet was used as a prize vendor in the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza's grand reopening in 1987, being considered as a part of the toy animatronics. She will remain in the prize corner as long as we wind up her music box via camera system. If the music box runs out completely, Puppet will leave the prize corner to go directly to the office and jump scare us. Balloon Boy. He's a humanoid animatronic manufactured by Fazbear Entertainment as a balloon vendor. He's one of the few characters in-game that doesn't jump scare the player, but even so, he's not harmless at all. If he manages to enter the office, consider yourself screwed, unless, of course, you're about to reach 6 AM, because he will deactivate the flashlights, which is used to avoid Weaver Foxy. Weaver Freddy. Freddy Fazbear returns in a damaged way compared to the first game, however, it's least damaged compared to the rest of the Weaver animatronics. As well as his partners, he's torn in the parts and service due to being replaced by the toy animatronics. Now he's only used as spare parts. He will move through the hall that's in front of us, and sometime later he will enter the office. Then we must put the Freddy Fazbear mask to repel him. Yeah, this guy does not seem to be that smart. Weaver Bonnie. Bonnie returns in a damaged way compared to the first game, lacking left arm and his face. As well as his partners, he's torn in the parts and service room due to being replaced by the toy animatronics. Now he's only used as spare parts only. Unlike his counterpart from the first game, he seems to follow a set pattern in this game. He will directly go to the hall outside of the office, ominously staring at us. Then he moves to the party room 1 to enter the left air vent to access the security office. He's repelled in the same way as Wither Freddy. Wither Chica. Chica returns in a severely damaged way compared to the pizza-loving chicken. She lacks both hands and her jaw is broken. Poor thing. As well as her partners, she is stored in the parts and servers room due to being replaced by the toy animatronics. She is now used as spare parts only. She follows a set pattern like Bonnie. She moved to party room 4, then party room 2, and then enter the right air vent. Just like Bonnie, she can be seen in the vent blind spot, and she can enter in the office if we watch the cameras. She is repelled in the same way as the previous two. Wither Foxy. Finally, a Wither animatronic that's not repelled by wearing the mask. Much like with his counterpart from the first game, Fox is definitely the most damaged in the entire Wither cast, but even so, he's still the same cunning and agile pirate fox we all know and love. As well as his partners, he's stored in the parts and service room. Foxy, alongside the puppet, are the only two characters that aren't fooled by the Freddy mask. The only way to get rid of him is to flash him several times using the flashlight when he's in the hall outside the office. This may reset the Foxy systems, thus returning to parts and service. Have in mind that after repelling him successfully, he will return a while later. Then you must flash him again in order to return to parts and servers, and so on. Hallucinations. This includes Golden Freddy, JJ, Shadow Bonnie, Shadow Freddy, and Endo 2. Reasons for their existence and their origins are unknown, except for Golden Freddy. FNAF 2 was such an amazing sequel for the first game, marking a before and an after in the saga, reinforcing the lore behind the characters and the restaurant, bringing a lot of new and interesting content and having one of the most frenetic gameplays in the franchise. Now it's your turn. Tell me what you think about all of this. I will look at the comment sections. I'd also like to thank Vix for helping me in making this video, editing wise. And that's it for now. See ya!